Now, if you've always fancied yourself as a bit of an easy rider, but you've realised that those price tags hanging from the handlebars of custom bikes are not so easy on the eye, then there could well have been one manufacturer you may have overlooked. Sachs, it's not a name you'll probably be familiar with, but they're a small German company specialising in hand-built bikes. This is their 800cc Roadster, and it's quite a looker. With its high-gloss, hard plastic fuel tank, gold fork stanchions, twin discs up front, a single headlamp and chrome clocks, the Roadster is quietly assertive. You really experience this as soon as you park up. Whilst road testing this bike, we were bombarded with questions about what it was, who made it and how much for, from both bikers and non-bikers alike. The Roadster's engine is donated straight from the Suzuki Intruder. Now it's a VX800 donor lump, which is an air-cooled V-twin, and it only puts out 57 brake horsepower. The characteristic of the motor wouldn't be anything without the smooth 5-ratio gearbox which connects to the shaft final drive, avoiding the oily chain maintenance so many of us might neglect. Being essentially a German-Japanese muscle bike, you might expect a little chrome, and you certainly won't be disappointed. There's enough here to keep the most enthusiastic buffer busy all day in the garage. The exhaust system, a set of polished slash pipes, sound throaty without being too loud, but an aftermarket set would do wonders. By the way, the pipes also get very hot after a short while. You have been warned.
Ah, this is more like it. Cruising along these Lancashire lanes. Not exactly the Pacific Coast Highway in California, but nevertheless, we're in jolly old England, and this is the kind of bike to do it on. It feels great to ride. It's really smooth. I mean, let's face it, it's got a damn good coupling of a Japanese engine, so I mean, it handles really well. Woo!
If you're thinking this bike is simply a German copy of a Buell, then you might have missed the point. This bike wasn't created to be a new hooligan tool. It's an original bike created with style, using a reliable power plant, which will only help mature Sachs' infant reputation in the bike world. It's a great hand-built machine, demonstrating good value at $5,599 on the road.
Of course, the suspension settings are really soft as standard, but if you did want to pull out those corners with a little more vigour, just firm up that rear shock and you'll notice quite a difference.
So let's take a look at the scores on the doors. Oh, let's talk comfort. It's like sitting at home on your sofa. It's absolutely ideal, this seat, if you're going on a longer journey, and of course a short one, absolutely no problem. When I first jumped on the bike, I thought, crikey, what a long stretch to the handlebars, and that does take a bit of getting used to. But overall, I reckon 8 out of 10. Now for performance, I think we'll give it 7 out of 10. There's no way that this engine is underpowered for this kind of chassis. And of course, a bike like this will help you keep your licence nice and clean. There's plenty of grunt all the way through the rev range, and it loves powering out those corners. Build quality, well, I reckon the Roadster deserves 8 out of 10. You see, this bike is Sachs' most accomplished product yet, and I reckon it's a great indication of things to come. I hate to say it, but those Krauts really know how to hammer a bike together. Now let's give it 8 out of 10 once again for value for money, because you see, this bike, well, it's a head turner. You really don't see that many of them. And I suppose for Sachs to sell a bit more, it would have to be more realistically priced like the Ducati Monster, but still, it's a lot of bike with a lot of muscle. Now as for street cred, well, I think by the looks of that bike, it deserves a 9 out of 10. But the problem is, I'm riding it around the streets of Lancashire. And here in Blackburn, if you don't ride an R1, a 996 or a GSXR, then you're nothing but a shandy drinking scooter rider.